Well, today you were at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Let's just have a look at a little of how that went.
There are some people who are justified in using violence and other people who don't have that right.
Would it be morally acceptable
violence.
is what we're asking? Like, if you came up with a gun and shot us in the face, like, for our sign, would that be
Some people would argue that it'd be morally right to shoot you all in the face.
I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy.
If people made the argument that giving a platform to...
What do you think about Charlie?
There's so many Charlies.
Charlie Kirk.
There's so many Charlies.
Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated behind a table just like this one.
I know that's the person that's trending, but Charlie Kirk was a byproduct of people like this.
David, I applaud your patience and your civility in not losing your temper, but is there any chance of getting through to people who seem to be so utterly broken?
Unfortunately, Rita, with folks like this, I don't think so. But the impact is the people around, right? Kim and I had this discussion on our drive back from the university. This person made himself look terrible and made us look incredible, regardless of what we said. Why? At the end, we wanted to shake their hand. We did. We wanted to shake the individual's hand, and they refused to do so. That's when they told us this entire thing, that they would shoot someone like us in the face and all the other crap that you heard there in the end. It doesn't help them win at all. And the people that may think like they do, or that opposed Cam and I's position, or what we have there, they see that, and nobody can agree with that. As soon as this individual said this, and probably 50% of the people in the crowd didn't agree with us, everyone gasped, said, "Oh my God, I can't believe he just said that." I don't want to misgender the person, so he, she, but we're still not sure. But unfortunately, we're not really doing this for them, as much as I want to say that we are. It is more likely for a person that is in the crowd that may share a position like they do, but definitely don't agree with the overall rhetoric that they engage in. So perhaps that's what we're aiming for here.
David, you make a good point there. It's not always about convincing someone who seems to be utterly broken, but it's all those who are watching on, who perhaps are just deciding where they stand and seeing the extremeness, the ugliness of the modern left, I think, is providing a valuable service. But I want to ask you about how you feel personally when you've just conversed with someone and then they say they'd be happy to see you shot in the face. I mean, that must be pretty chilling.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate for someone like myself, for majority of people, because this is America. This isn't 2,000 years ago where you disagree with a person and their words hurt you to the point of where you want to go commit a gruesome act of violence. We pointed out at the end, he said that our opinions, our positions, our words truly hurt him or her. And that's the problem that I have, is that if these people truly believe that my words, my positions, my opinion, I don't have executive authority, I'm not a congressman, I can't enact any policy, that hurts them to the point of where they tell me that because of my words, they want to shoot me in the face. I can't believe that we got to this point in America. And unfortunately, I don't want to place blame on people. I think it's a little too early to do this, but you can't stop thinking about how these people got here in the first place. Have they been radicalized? Are they mentally ill? Is somebody propagating to them something on mainstream media? Are elected officials inciting this? Why are people suddenly wanting to take things to a violent level or violent measures just because they disagree with my political position? It's absurd and it's sickening, Rita.
It is sickening, and they never wait and consider that perhaps their words are violence and their words are hurtful and hateful. Telling a man who's standing in front of you that you'd be happy to see them shot in the face, they don't see that as hurtful, but you don't respect their pronouns and suddenly it is the crime of the century. Now let's look at a little interaction you had at Georgia State University.
Yet at some point, if you...
Let me say this to y'all real quick.
We're going to keep talking. We're engaged in civil debate here.
Do not need to be debated about it. If y'all believe in something, stand for it, walk away from this.
Hey, give him a mic.
Right?
Can you come up to the mic and discuss it? Okay.
Okay.
So that's a good example of not liking public discourse.
David, that seems to happen a lot. If a student does want to converse, they're pressured not to by others. Tell me about that intimidation that students face, because there's a lot of self-censoring happening on university campuses.
Absolutely. And they do this while calling us fascists, which is the best thing about this. But in this instance, for example, it didn't work out. It simply didn't work out because he said it. If you believe in something, stand for it. He just messed up at the end and said, just walk away. Why would you walk away? We live in America where we have, at least to a degree, the freedom of speech that is given to us in the Constitution, although the government tries to infringe on it a bit. But we live in one of the only places that has this. Europe doesn't even have this. So why would you walk away, especially at a college campus where you're meant to have your ideas challenged by somebody like myself, for example, that is considered radical in majority of these people's eyes, although I'm very center. It fails. It fails. And every time that they try to do this, it just shows exactly who they are. And it makes it even better when they call us fascists at the end of the day, because they are the ones that are trying to suppress people's opinions in the public square and our ability to have a simple discussion with people who may disagree, but we're still doing it in a very civil, tolerant way.
Now, so far, tell me, what's the most unhinged campus you've been to? You've been to a few. So far, what's the worst of the worst?
Well, I have to always take it back to my home place, the place I love most, dearest to my heart. It is Georgia State University. I mean, that is one heck of a campus. It is in the middle of Atlanta, dead center of it. The streets go right through center of Atlanta where you see everything. So it's an adventure on its own. But the people there are very friendly. And what I mean by this is that they want to talk to you. They don't care about what it is, and they don't care that you're on camera, which is why I really do like this campus. But that comes with consequences, because a lot of folks there don't really think before they act or before they say something. And if they end up in a position where, I'm not trying to make them look stupid, but because they make idiotic claims, they may end up in a situation where they look like it because of themselves. And they get angry about that. And just like you saw with the person at the University of Tennessee today, when people that you disagree with can't use their words anymore, they resort to violence. And that is our mission here on the Fearless Tour, is to make sure that nobody resorts to violence, especially on our side, because we understand a lot of people on our side are very angry after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So we have to go on these campuses and make sure that these folks, especially the most unhinged ones, see us right now still engaging in civil discourse rather than any violence.
Well, you're calling it the Fearless Tour, and you have to be fearless to do what you're doing. Before you go, do you have anyone in your family or friends who is telling you to stop this after what's happened to Charlie, that it's not worth the risk?
Yeah, of course. And I want to just say thank you to everyone that always messages us this, giving us recommendations. The first day we didn't have a wall behind us. Everyone was scared about that, so we adjusted that a bit. But I'll just say this, that my Jewish mom, who always worries about it and tells me to never do this stuff, don't go and do this stuff, she told me that I need to go do this. And when my Jewish mom said that I need to go do this, I knew that we were doing the right thing. So she kind of threw away all the scare out the way, understood that freedom of speech is really under threat in America. And that's when I said, okay, so yeah, my mom's worried, but she kind of threw it away.
Mama knows best. David Khait, thank you so much for your time tonight.